Lesson 2.8 is about intercepts. An x-intercept is a point where a line crosses the x-axis. You can find this where y is equal to 0. So you'll get a value for x, a y value of 0, and it'll fall on the x-axis. Next, we have the y-intercept, which I have put 2 stars beside because you're going to use this a lot throughout this school year. The y-intercept is the point where a line crosses the y-axis. You'll find this y value, the y-intercept, where x equals 0, so it's going to fall on that y-axis. If we look at a coordinate plane, let's say we have a line and it crosses right here on the x-axis, and it crosses right here on the y-axis. And you see that those, once plotted, we can draw a line through it, and we've got a line. The x-intercept is the point where the line crosses the x-axis. It crosses at 3, 0, and sometimes you just hear it called 3. The y-intercept, which we call b, and you'll see that used often later on, is referred to as the variable b. It crosses the y-axis at 0, -2. And sometimes you'll just hear it called b, the y-intercept, is -2. We're going to look at equations that are set up in this way, this form called standard form, where you have a number x plus or minus a number y equal a number. So this is called standard form of a linear equation, and we're going to learn how to graph this form of an equation by using X and Y-intercepts. So in our example, we're going to graph this equation 3x plus 4y equal 12. That's in linear standard form for a linear equation, and we're going to use our X and Y-intercepts. Remember, this is our second method that we're learning to graph an equation, because we've already learned that we could create a table of values, plug in your x's, and see what you get for y to determine ordered pairs that you plot and draw your line to graph your equation. So here, we're going to use a second method, which is find the x and y intercepts and then plot those 2 points and draw a line. So first, we're going to start with our x-intercept, where y is 0. So to find our x-intercept, we're going to write our equation and plug in 0 for y. Now we're going to simplify in the step where we have 4 times 0, we get 0. Anytime you add 0, it doesn't change anything, so 3x plus 0 is 3x. Then divide both sides by 3 to solve for x. So we get that x is 4. Therefore, our x-intercept is where x is 4, y is 0. And we can plot that point on a graph, 4, 0. And notice that it's on the x-axis, which makes sense because it's the x-intercept, the point that the line intercepts the x-axis. Now we repeat the process for the y-intercept. We know that's where x has a value of 0, and we're going to plug in 0 in place of x and solve for y. 3 times 0 is just 0, and when we add 0 to 4y, we get 4y. So this simplifies to 4y equal 12, and now to solve, we're solving just a little one-step equation. We'll divide both sides by 4, and we find that y is equal to 3. So our ordered pair is where x is 0, y is 3. We plot that point, 0, 3, and we've now plotted 2 points, our x and y intercepts, and we can draw a line between those, and I'll extend it through my coordinate plane. And then we are finished. We have graphed the line.